For example, our standard selling cycle is step number 1 is to find people with money. That's right. Don't waste your time on people that don't have money. Find people that have a need and have money. And we have a whole section we're going to cover on that. Again, it's the part that fills the funnel, that attracts people to you. It has a lot to do with how can you serve people, give them a free taste of who you are or a very inexpensive taste of who you are so they can try you before they buy you. That's finding people with money. Step 2, once you find them, is to what? Approach and what? Contact. That's right, approach and contact. How do you approach them? How do you introduce yourself to them? How do you build rapport in the very beginning that will establish a great relationship? Understand that most people make their impressions in the first 2 to 3 seconds. Are you maximizing that interaction? Is your team maximizing that? That's the next step. Now, once you approach and contact, and you've done that job well, and you've gone into their world first, which we're going to cover in a minute, the law of reciprocity will kick in. If you've been adding value and really listening to them and asking them lots of great questions, they're going to flip it around and say, well, what do you do? Or what do you have to offer? At that point, step 3 is now you present. Whether you're presenting at the cosmetic counter, whether you're presenting in an appointment, whether you're presenting over the telephone, all of these skills, particularly from approach and contact and present and on down, are all appropriate at every single step in your template. If you master these, and these take the least amount of effort, the least amount of money to master, you will generate more income with money that's already sitting on the table. Okay, so you present what you're all about based upon what they told you in the contact and the discovery mode in step 2. Step number 4 in the selling cycle. You now, sooner or later, somebody's going to say no, and you're going to need to learn how to turn it into a what? Into a yes. That's called objection handling. And I'll tell you that that's probably the biggest reason that most people don't like to sell, because they're terrified of rejection. They don't want to look stupid, all of those things. We're going to give you a real simple process, a template to follow. You can handle any objection anytime, any place. By the way, in that massage clinic that you saw earlier, this was the only thing we worked on. We worked on item number 4, and that's what converted them from 15% to 40% conversion in a very short period of time. Once you turn the, by the way, how many of you, would you like to be able to turn more no's into yeses? Would you like to be able to do that at home? If you didn't just say yes, you're lying, because we all want to do that. Number 5. Ultimately, it comes time to make an offer or a close, whichever you want to call it. And that is to be able to, with now all of their needs being satisfied, to give them a killer offer or an irresistible offer that they have a very difficult time saying no to, because you've added so much value to them going into that. And obviously, and then step number 6, we have one more step. Most people would think that the end of the selling cycle is when you close the deal and get the check, right? Right? Wrong. The most important part of the selling cycle that I'm going to tell you right now is this one right here. It's called the testimonial. That's right, testimonial. What is a testimonial? Testimonial is social proof that you actually delivered on your promise. It's going back to the customer, whether it was from the cosmetic counter, you got their phone number, you called them up, how did that makeup remover work for you? And getting back from them a testimonial of how well it worked for them, or how it changed their lives, or how it improved their businesses. Most people don't do that. The pit bulls are going on to the next deal. But the retrievers know, and the basset hounds know, that if we go in for that testimonial, it does 2 things. First of all, it forces us to make sure we delivered on the promise that we told the customer. That's number 1. Number 2 is it provides probably the greatest marketing tool that you could ever get. It's somebody else's good word about what you do. You could talk about what you do, or someone else can talk about what you do. Either way, which one is going to have the most validity? That's right. It's going to be the other person's testimonial about you, and we're going to show you how to do a killer testimonial in every single case. But for right now, this is the selling cycle, and what we're going to do is we're going to dive very deep into each one of these things, because when you go back to your template, in each case of the template, each step you're contacting, you're presenting, and you're handling objections, and you're making offers. So if you can maximize that within the template, you're going to unlock tons of money into your business and into your bottom line.